Welcome to the Steel Barrel. This is episode 3, and this is the one that probably is the most characteristic of our bar here. We're going to give you a walking tour of the brewery, along with the same person from episode 1, Joe Potter. He'll give you a rundown of how everything works and where everything's at, and it'll be cool. Let's go. That's Sam.
That's John.
Hi, John.
What's up, guys? So this is the mash tun. This is where we mix the crushed green and hot water. We make a big bowl of barley porridge, basically. And the type of barley we use, malted barley, has a lot of enzymes in it, which converts all the starches in the barley into sugars, which is what the yeast likes to eat. So that's the job of the mash tun right there. This is our grain mill. Our grain mill, that's a hopper. You can't really see the rollers, but it's just got two roller crushers that crack the grain into like basically a really coarse flour, and it moves up this this PVC pipe has a big screw auger in the middle of it. Just moves all that crushed grain right up there, drops it through the top, mixes it with hot water, makes our job a little bit easier. Believe it or not, there's breweries that are bigger than this that still bucket load their grain into the mash tun. That's no way to live, in my opinion. Right there's the control panel. We push buttons and move switches to run the pumps there. This is a boil kettle, which is essentially a giant insulated pot with a gas-fired burner. We have a direct-fired natural gas kettle. So 7-barrel brewery is about as big as you typically see with a direct-fired kettle. Once you get any bigger than this, you start to see steam jacketed kettles mostly. This is our hot liquor tank. A little bit of trivia about the hot liquor tank. We originally had this brewery designed for another building, and then the lease for that building fell through due to reasons, and we had to put it in this building instead. And this is actually the only spot in this entire building that this tank will fit because there's a skylight up there. So I'm not sure what we'd have done if that skylight wasn't there. Hot liquor tank is just a fancy word brewers use for giant hot water heater. It's a big insulated stainless steel tank with an electric element in it that keeps the water hot for us. This is our keg washer. This is a manually operated keg washer. Even though we don't actually have to turn the valves with our hands, we're still doing everything manually. So 2 tanks. We wash our kegs with caustic, which removes organic solids and build up on the kegs. And then we sanitize with an acid sanitizer, which does remove some scale. Every once in a while you have to give the kegs an acid wash if they get a lot of what we call beer stone in them. So it's just a pump with a bunch of switches and 2 Sankey taps, just shoots the water up into the kegs. The kegs sit on here like this. And the water shoots up and cascades down, gives you your cleaning action there. These are the fermenters. In the Incubator Brewery, we all have separate fermenters. So this one here is the Young Buck Brewing fermenter. This is Cameron's. This is the Little Spokane fermenter. These two are both built locally and are jacketed. So the little dimples here just to distribute the glycol. Right now I'm cold crashing an ESB so that I can transfer it to the bright tank in a few days. So that's why there's all the condensation on the outside. This is just a little sort of ancillary fermenter that I use for projects from time to time. This is the TT's fermenter. His is built by Stout Tanks in Portland, I think is where they are. Or Vancouver, I can't remember.
I think it's Portland.
It's Portland? Yeah. So there's that. And this is grain storage and junk storage back here, as you can see.
You can CO2.
Yeah. Yeah, big old tank of CO2. We have a bulk tank. If you ever decide to open a brewery that is any bigger than about 3 or 4 barrels, get yourself a bulk CO2 tank. It's cheaper, in the long run, and it's way more convenient. Yeah, it's a mess in here. I'd like to say it's not usually this messy, but it is always this messy.
Bright tanks?
Bright tanks. This is our walk-in where the bright tanks are. I'll turn up the fan so we can hear. This is our complicated switch we use to turn the cooler on and off. I think it's Finnish because it's called a broom. That sounds like a Finnish word to me. Anyway, this is my bright tank. So this is where the beer gets carbonated, and it's called a bright tank because all the solids, proteins, and yeast and hops drop out under cold temperature, and the beer gets bright. So this is mine. This is Cameron's. We force carbonate all our beer. Nothing is conditioned in the vessel. And then back there is the TT's bright tank, and this is our expert partially filled keg volumetric measuring tool right here. Some people call it a scale. Yeah, there. I've got under.
How much do you weigh?
What'd I get it up to?
197.
Oh, that's about right. Oh, never turn the cooler back on.
All right, and let's do a closeout over here.
All right, so that's the dime tour of the Incubator Brewery.
Sweet. Thanks, Joe, for showing us around the incubator. I hope you guys got something out of, learning what goes on behind the doors in the steel barrel. Again, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see us do on the channel in the future, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to use this as a platform to connect with people who are interested in the steel barrel and people that are interested in beer in general, I guess. So comment those down below. Also like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and tell Joe that you think he's a lovely gentleman.
I am quite lovely.
Yeah.
It's my middle name.
Joe Lovely Potter. All right, anything else you want to add?
I don't know.
That's how you're supposed to close out, I think.
Okay.